Hello，各位会员，大家好，我是 Justin 啊，感谢各位抽时间过来参加我们的研讨会啊。那我们的正式时间还没有开始，我们看到有会员还在陆续的登录，大约再有1分钟，我们的研讨会会正式的开始，谢谢大家。OK，各位会员，大家下午好哈。现在是北京时间下午的2点，那我们的研讨会呢正式开始。OK 跟以往一样呢，我们的研讨会的所有的参与者呢为静音状态。这个研讨会呢会被录音，然后录音以后的结果呢会被放在 ProjectAware 的网站上面。如果大家有兴趣的话，可以到时候跟你的朋友或者是其他的教练分享一下。在整个研讨会的过程当中，如果您有任何问题的话呢，请你点击这个提问框，给我们来回答问题。给我们来提问问题 ，OK， 在时间允许的情况下呢，我们会尽可能的去回答各位的问题。那如果时间不允许的话呢，也没关系，我们可以通过电子邮件的方式来回复你。这个研讨会呢，大约需要1个到1个半小时。OK， 这次研讨会的讲演人呢有3位，不包括我在内哈。一位呢是 Michelle 是我们 ProjectAware 的经理 manager。Hi Michelle，are you there?
Hi everyone, this is Michelle from Project Aware, calling in from Sydney. Just want to say hi and thank you all for joining our webinar today.
嗨，大家好，我是 Michelle，我在Project Aware Sydney 的办公室正在给大家通话，非常感谢大家抽出时间来参加我们下午的会议。
OK， 我们还有第2位呢是王淼，王淼是我们 ProjectAware 在大中华区的代表。
Hello， 大家好，我是王淼，也是你们的翻译，大家可能会经常听到我的声音今天。
然后我们还有第3位呢是 Ariel 陈 ，Ariel 是我们 Paddy 在悉尼这边的 Member Service 会员服务部门的同事。
嗨，大家好。
OK， 3位介绍完了那我现在就把麦克风交给 Michelle， 让 Michelle 来做我们的研讨会的正式的讲演。Hey Michelle, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. You can start now.
Okay, thank you, Justin, and hello to everybody on the line today. So I'm going to start off our webinar today just by talking about who Project Aware is, because Project Aware is more than just a nonprofit institution. We are a global movement.
Hello， 大家好，欢迎大家来参加我们今天下午的研讨会。那我首先想给大家再介绍一下 Project Aware。那 Project Aware 并不仅仅是一个非营利性组织，我们其实是一个覆盖了全球的潜水领袖的这样的一个海洋保育的潜水网络。
So we are a global movement made up of amazing network of dive leaders, just like each of you on the line here today, and we are supported by staff around the world as well.
我们在全球各个地方都有像今天大家一样的这样非常杰出的潜水领袖，同时我们在全球也有员工的支持。
Project Aware is a registered nonprofit in the US, Australia, and Great Britain, and we're also the global charity partners of PADI.
我们在美国、澳大利亚和英国3个国家都有注册的慈善机构，同时我们也是 PADI 在全球的合作伙伴。
And we've currently began operations in China by partnering with local organizations such as Better Blue and the Chinese Environmental Protection Foundation.
那我们今年开始在中国也在与一些中国本地的机构进行合作，比如说无尽深蓝潜水海洋保护联盟以及中华环境保护基金会，去开发中国本土化的海洋保育的项目。
So Project Aware has actually been around for more than 25 years, and the icon on the screen in front of you depicts some of the major achievements that we've made throughout the 25 years.
Project Aware 在全球已经运作了25年。那下面这张图其实给大家展示了一些我们在这个全球海洋保育领域比较里程碑型的事件。
So just a few ones that I'd like to bring to your attention are in regards to how Dive Against Debris has made an impact on the ocean throughout the years. So first of all, it is the first and only underwater marine debris survey of its kind. And through the Dive Against Debris program, we've actually now removed and recorded more than 1 million items of trash from the ocean.
首先我想给大家介绍一下这个我们在打击海洋垃圾上做出的贡献。那 project 在打击海洋垃圾是全球第一个也是唯一一个去从水下去记录海洋垃圾数据的项目。那同时我们在今年也完成了从海洋里面记录并移除了100万海洋垃圾的事件。
The work that Project Wares does is focused on a return to a clean and healthy ocean. And we do that by addressing pollution, marine debris, and plastic, as well as by fighting overfishing and trying to protect vulnerable species such as sharks and rays.
我们在全球的愿景都是希望去重新实现一个清洁健康的海洋。那除了去关注污染的议题，包括去对抗海洋垃圾、塑料等问题以外，我们也去关注过度渔业捕捞以及一些易危的海洋生物种类，比如说鲨鱼和鳐鱼。
So before we talk about dive against debris, we need to actually know what we're talking about when we refer to what is marine debris.
那在我们说打击海洋垃圾之前，我们首先需要了解一下什么是海洋垃圾。
The UN defines marine debris as any persistent solid, manufactured, or processed solid material which has been discarded, disposed of, or abandoned in the marine and coastal environment.
联合国将海洋垃圾定义为是人为制造或处理出来的被遗弃在废弃或遗弃在海洋或海岸环境中的长久能够存在的固态物品。
So the question now is, where does marine debris actually come from?
现在我们将面临的问题是说这些海洋垃圾是从哪里来的？
Marine debris is 100% from human activities. So we might be the source of the problem, but the good news is that we're also the solution.
事实上答案是100%的海洋垃圾都来源于人类的活动，所以我们是问题的制造者，但是好消息是我们同样也是问题的解决者。
The picture on the right is one of the many resources that we have available, which has been translated for free, both as a poster and a video, so that you can learn more about the ugly journey of our trash.
那在右边给大家展示的这个宣传的材料是我们开发出来的关于垃圾的丑陋旅程中的教育材料中的一部分。那这个是给大家可以去免费获取并且去做教育与传播的一种工具。
You can actually access this toolkit just by scanning the QR code at the end of the presentation, or you can always email us at china@projectaware.org in order for us to send you the toolkit by email.
在今天的整个的会议结束之后，我们会提供给大家一个二维码，大家可以通过扫码去获取我们所有的教育的工具，包括一些宣传的物料和一些相关的视频。同时，大家可以往我们中国区，就是 china@projectaware.com 去发邮件.org 去发邮件去获取相关的一些教育的资料。
So now that we know what marine debris is and where it's coming from, we need to take a look at the extent of the damage so that we can understand how we are addressing the problem through dive against debris.
那介绍了海洋垃圾之后，我们需要看一下海洋垃圾到底对我们有什么样的危害。这样的话，我们大家可以更好的理解我们如何能够去以这个打击海洋垃圾的方式来助力于这清洁海洋的实现。
So because of marine debris, more than tens of thousands of animals and seabirds die each year.
由于海洋垃圾的存在，致使每年数以万计的动物和海鸟都会死亡。
More than 700 different species of marine animals are affected, which includes all sea turtles, more than half marine mammals, and 2/3 of seabirds.
大约有700种不同的海洋生物都或多或少的在被海洋垃圾所影响，其中包括的所有的海龟物种，超过1半以上的海洋哺乳类动物以及2/3的海鸟。
Marine debris causes death by entanglement, ingestion, and suffocation.
海洋垃圾有可能会由于缠绕消化问题和窒息而使海洋生物死亡。
Marine debris causes damage not only to the environment, but to us as humans. So the important thing for us to remember is that ocean health is the same thing as human health.
海洋垃圾不只会造成对海洋生物的影响，同时它对人类的健康也有影响。所以对于我们来讲，每个人都应该意识到的问题就是海洋的健康实际上是与人类的健康息息相关的。
Some examples of how marine debris can affect the marine environment include large objects smashing against reefs, plastic bags smothering seagrass and mangroves, and nets and fishing line strangling habitats and species.
那海洋垃圾对于环境损坏的一些例子包括大型的这种海洋垃圾实际上会撞击和损坏珊瑚礁和礁石，同时塑料袋也会令海草跟红树林没有办法呼吸。另外，渔网和这个钓鱼线也会去缠绕海洋生物以及破坏它们的栖息地。
In terms of human impact, besides the fact that it's ugly and dangerous, it's also very expensive to remove and it's a risk to our health.
对于人类的影响来说，首先它在环境中看起来非常的不美观，同时它也有潜在的危险。另外就是一旦它进入到海里面，它的清除费用非常高昂，同时对人类的健康有害处。
So recent research has indicated that more than 250 million tons of plastic alone will enter our ocean by the year 2025.
调查显示，到2025年，我们预计将会一共有2亿5千万吨的塑料进入到海洋里面。
And if it's hard for you to grasp exactly what that means, this next photo should help you understand.
如果要是你理解不了2亿5千万吨这个数据代表着什么，那这张照片可以帮你更直观的去了解这是一个什么样的数量。
This photo is displayed at the Zurich Museum, and it represents the amount of plastic alone, just plastic waste, that is dumped into our oceans every 15 seconds.
这是在苏黎世的博物馆陈列的一个关于塑料垃圾的展览。这个你面前所看到的这些垃圾的数量，就是每15秒钟进入到我们海洋里面的塑料垃圾的数量。
So now that we understand a little bit about the extent of the problem, we understand that we need to make a change as us as individuals and also as a society, but we can also make a change by diving and by turning every dive we do into a dive against debris.
所以我们已经看到了海洋垃圾存在的问题，那接下来我们应该去了解说，作为一个个体或者是一个组织，我们到底用什么样的方法能够去驱动改变，去助力海洋垃圾问题的解决。那同时，其实通过潜水也是可以对抗海洋垃圾的。
Okay, so now we're ready to talk about Dive Against Debris as a program. And the most important thing to remember is that Dive Against Debris is so much more than just a cleanup. It's actually a global citizen science program.
所以我们现在就要给大家介绍打击海洋垃圾的这项运动，它其实并不仅仅是一个清洁型运动，它实际上是一个全球科学的公民计划。
The reason this is important is because when you're cleaning up, it's just a band-aid solution to the problem. But when we're actually recording the data and reporting it, we're trying to address a long-term solution, and we're painting that underwater perspective that only divers can provide.
事实上是，如果你仅只去捡拾海洋垃圾，那它只是一个一次性的行为。但是如果你去收集海洋垃圾的数据，并对它进行上报，能够帮助我们去分析它在一段时间内的发展趋势，帮助我们更有力的去做政策型的推动和改变，那么它将会是一个只有潜水员能够提供的从水下开发出来的针对海洋垃圾的视角。
Before the Dive Against Debris program, there was a complete lack of data about marine debris from the seafloor.
在我们进行打击海洋垃圾这项活动之前，在全球数据上来讲，从海下收集的关于海床上垃圾的数据其实都是空白的。
And the other important thing to remember is that Dive Against Debris doesn't have to be an event. Anyone can do a dive against debris anytime, anywhere. It can be as little as just 2 people going for a dive and making sure that they record the data of the debris that they found on their dive. Even if there is no debris, we still want to know, and you can still send us that information.
所以其实打击海洋垃圾不一定非得是一个事件型的活动，它可以发生在任何人和任何地点上。只要你有2个人作为一组前伴下去水里面，都可以告诉我们关于海洋垃圾的数据。即使是没有海洋垃圾，我们也需要你告诉我们说这个地方并没有发现海洋垃圾，并且将数据回报给我们。
So by taking part of Dive Against Debris as a diver, There's several ways how you are as a diver helping to protect the ocean.
之后我们就将介绍一下，如果你作为一个潜水员，你用什么样的方法能够帮助我们去实现打击海洋垃圾这个事情。
For example, you're making the ocean safer for marine life simply by removing the debris that's in the ocean.
比如来说，最简单的就是你通过去移除海洋下的海洋垃圾，能够让海洋对于海洋生物来讲更加安全。
And as a diver, you're the only one that is able to collect that data that would be otherwise out of sight and out of mind.
而且作为一个潜水员，你是唯一一个能够帮助大众去了解到水下的海洋垃圾数据的人。
You can also use that data to support local projects and encourage change.
你同时也可以用你收集到的本地的数据去推动本地化的一些针对海洋垃圾的项目和倡议，去鼓励改变的发生。
For example, in Vanuatu, a group of our dive volunteers actually used their dive against debris data to help influence a ban on plastic bags in Vanuatu.
比如说在这个贝蒂瓦图，我不知道这个地方是哪儿我们的潜水员就利用了我们在水下收集到的垃圾数据，去推动了当地关于禁止塑料袋使用的一个禁令。
So by taking part in Dive Against Debris, you can also take part in even larger campaigns, such as the UNEP Clean Seas campaign.
通过去加入到打击海洋垃圾的这个倡议里面，你同时也可以助力于更高层级的倡议的实现，比如说联合国环境署发布的清洁海洋的倡议。
The Clean Seas campaign was launched in February 2017 as part of a global campaign to address the root cause of marine litter.
清洁海洋是2017年2月份联合国环境署发布的一个行动的倡议，它是希望去减少一次性塑料的使用，消除掉海洋垃圾的主要来源。
The Clean Seas campaign also contributes to the UN Global Partnership on Marine Litter, of which Project Aware is a partner, and we contribute Dive Against Debris data.
清洁海洋的倡议实际上是有助于联合国在全球的这个海洋垃圾上的全球伙伴关系的一个倡议。那同时 Project Aware 也是这个全球伙伴其中的一员。打击海洋垃圾中的这个数据就是为了这个伙伴关系去助力的。
So Project Aware is partnering with Better Blue, Paddy China, and the Chinese Environmental Protection Foundation to expand advocating in China for the Clean Seas campaign.
所以 Project Aware 和Paddy中国、无尽深蓝以及中华环境保护基金会都在共同推动这个倡议在中国的影响力。
There are lots of different ways you can take part in the Clean Seas campaign, and that includes joint Dive Against Debris activities and online social media challenge for Dive Against Debris.
有很多方法可以让大家参与到清洁海洋的这个倡议里面，其中就包括了大家可以参与我们6月份的时候做的打击海洋垃圾的联合行动，同时也可以参与我们打击海洋垃圾的线上挑战赛。
We also develop and distribute educational materials, and you can also take part in the public fundraising campaign, which is powered by Better Blue.
同时，我们也开发了相关的教育和宣传材料，我们也可以动员我们身边的人去推动支持无尽深蓝主要发起的这个关于清洁海洋的公募的筹款项目。
So the UN Clean Seas campaign is actually starting now in the month of June, surrounding World Ocean Day to increase advocacy for ocean protection.
其实我们这个打击海洋垃圾助力清洁海洋的这个项目在现在6月份的时候就已经要开始了，我们将会在全球的范围内都会鼓励大家去开展打击海洋垃圾的活动。
It includes nationwide dive against debris surveys combined with nationwide beach cleaning in order to enhance public awareness on the marine debris issue.
它既包括了全国范围内对于这个水下海洋垃圾的调查，也包括了在全国范围内开展的净滩活动， 我们希望通过这样的大众型的活动，能够让更多的人知道海洋垃圾及海洋保护议题的这个意识。
We'll be using Dive Against Debris survey data to yield information on debris types, quantity, and possible origin.
我们会通过打击海洋垃圾的这个数据收集和调查来获取关于垃圾的类型、数量和可能的垃圾来源。
You can email us at china@projectaware.org for more information.
大家可以去通过我们中国区的邮箱去获取更多的关于活动的信息。当然，我相信可能今天来的很多人都是我们6月份要开始做活动的组织方。
Okay, so now that we've learned about marine debris and the Dive Against Debris program and different campaigns that you can get involved, let's actually learn how to get started doing a Dive Against Debris survey.
那我们之前已经了解了关于海洋垃圾的情况以及什么样的倡议大家是可以参与进来的。那我们接下来就会具体的介绍一下如何去开展一次打击海洋垃圾的潜水。
Before you get started, the important thing is to gather materials and to make sure you read through the survey guide and the data card.
首先第一件事是大家需要去获得所有相关的材料，并且确保你在开展打击海洋垃圾潜水的时候阅读过所有的调查指南以及数据收集表。
We have all of these materials available for free and translated by following the link below or by scanning the QR code at the end of the presentation.
我们已经将所有的这些资料都开源并且翻译成了中文，大家可以在这个结束之后去扫描二维码去获取我们相关的工具。
The other important thing to keep in mind is that you want to create a project-aware profile if you haven't already before you get started, because that's how you're going to submit your data from the Dive Against Debris survey.
另外一件事是你记得去创建一个自己的 project-aware 的档案，这样的话大家就可以通过自己的档案的材料里面去上传你们收集到的数据。
So before you get started, there's a few things to keep in mind.
在你开始你的打击海洋垃圾调查之前，有几件事情你要记在脑海里。
First of all, you want to make sure that you arrange waste disposal in advance before you do the survey.
首先，在你开始之前，你要先去提前了解好你收到的海洋垃圾回来之后要怎么处理会比较合适。
As I said before, you also want to make sure you create a project-aware profile, and you also want to come prepared to take pictures and organize your gear.
同时你也需要去建立一个 project-aware 的档案，并且带着你的横幅相机一起，以备你需要在活动中间拍摄照片去记录一些相关的东西。另外就是准备好你自己的装备。
The list below indicates what materials are required and recommended in order to do a Dive Against Debris survey.
推荐使用的装备。
So the most important thing are the required items, which include mesh bag, dive tools such as a knife or scissors, and gloves for both diving and sorting the rubbish.
首先就是大家需要必备的东西，包括了垃圾袋、潜水工具、潜水刀、手套。
Next, you need to choose your Dive Against Debris survey site.
之后就是你需要去选择一下你想要去开展打击海洋垃圾潜水的调查点。
The most important thing to consider is safety and the experience levels of all divers when choosing your site.
你在考虑你的调查点的时候，最重要要考虑的问题是安全因素，同时也要考虑到你们组内所有潜水员的经验水平是什么样子的。
I also want to emphasize the importance of buoyancy when you're choosing your site, because you don't want to accidentally crash and harm the environment that you're trying to protect when you're removing the rubbish from the seafloor.
同时你也要关注你自己的中性浮力的问题，因为如果在你带着海洋垃圾去移动的时候，你自己发生了任何事故导致去撞击到了海洋环境的话，其实也不是非常好的。
And if you do dive at this particular survey site frequently, we recommend that you actually try and cover the same area each time you survey your site so that we can get repeat data from the same area.
如果可能的话，我们希望大家能够定期定点的在一个区域进行调查，这样的话我们就可以在同一个调查点收集到重复的数据，让我们来判断它的一个海洋垃圾的发展趋势。
And now you're ready to dive your plan. And of course, first and foremost is safety. Always make sure you consider safety as your primary concern.
之后我们就可以按照计划去进行潜水了。当然还是一贯的，我们最先要考虑的问题是你的安全问题。
A few other safety recommendations are, first of all, to make sure that you do not lift bags heavier than 4 kilograms unless you are trained to do so.
首先要跟大家特别强调的一点是，如果你没有经过特殊的训练的话，不要试图去携带重量超过4公斤的垃圾袋。
If you do fill your bag, you can always drop it back off at the surface and go back down.
如果要是这个垃圾袋已经满了，你一直都是可以先去到岸上把这个袋子清空，然后再返回到水面继续做这个清洁垃圾的情况。
The other thing to be careful of is removing sharp objects. It's very important that you wear gloves and you be very careful with anything such as needles, syringes, broken bottles, and metal cans.
另外就是如果大家在移动比较尖锐的物品时候，一定要小心，而且要佩戴手套，尤其是不在触碰针、破碎的罐子，然后破碎的玻璃瓶等这种比较尖锐的东西的时候。
While you're underwater, it's important to understand what are the considerations of what you should remove and what you should possibly leave behind.
我们在水下去移除垃圾的时候，可能更多的时候是需要去关注说什么东西是我们应该留在原位，什么东西是我们应该去移除走的。
One of the most important questions to ask is if marine life will soon grow or live in the marine debris item that you'd like to remove.
所以比较常见且重要的一个问题就是，如果已经有海洋生物居住在这个垃圾里面，或者是已经有一些生物在这个海洋垃圾上面着床和生长了，那我们是否应该移除这些海洋生物，移除这些垃圾？
If the item is harmless, then perhaps leave it in place. But if the item could cause harm, it might be worth the short-term disturbance to remove the item from the ocean.
如果这个物体无害，那么可以考虑把它留在原地。如果这个物体可能导致伤害，那么或许我们值得去用一个比较小的干涉去把它移除出来。
The most important thing to remember, if you're unsure, then leave it in its place and do not remove it.
如果要是你不能确定它是否有害的话，那比较推荐的方式是把它留在原位。
So when you're trying to understand or determine whether the item is harmless or could cause harm, there's several different aspects that you need to take into consideration.
当你去考虑的是否去移除某一样海洋垃圾的时候，有3个元素，大家可以去考虑，从这几个方向去考虑我们是否需要移除它。
First of all, you need to consider the material of construction. So for example, glass bottles and steel cans cause less long-term damage and perhaps are items that is more worth it to leave.
首先我们去考虑它是一个什么样的材料。如果它是玻璃瓶或者金属罐这种，从长期来讲会导致比较小的这个对海洋生态环境的损坏的话，那么或许你可以把它留在原地。
The other aspect to consider is the content of the item. So if the item contains chemicals that may leak or cause harm, it should be removed only if it is safe to do so. Examples include batteries and fuel containers.
另外就是一些会导致化学元素泄漏，很明显是对海洋有害的东西，那么只有在你觉得足够安全的情况下，才需要把它移动走，比如说是像电池或者燃料罐这样的东西。
The other thing to consider are fishing nets, line, and rope. These items are extremely dangerous to remove, and you should not attempt to remove these items unless you are sure it is safe.
另外一个比较特殊的常见的海洋垃圾就是渔网、线和绳索这类的垃圾。移除这种垃圾，一般来讲因为危险系数会比较高，所以建议大家在确保自己安全的情况下，将它进行移除。
Removing these items can be difficult, especially if they're wrapped around corals or corals have been growing over them. So the best approach may be to selectively remove the accessible parts and leave the sections that have become overgrown.
所以一般移除这种东西相对来讲会比较困难，因为很多时候它们都会缠绕在珊瑚上，或者是在珊瑚生长的过程中已经跟它们在有很多的这个结合跟缠绕了。所以这种情况下，我们一般推荐是大家可以选择性的移除部分比较容易去接触到，然后同时能移除走的这些绳索，然后把剩下的已经着床或者是跟其他生物固化在一块的留在原位。
We also find that strong, sharp scissors cut through fishing line and nets with less disturbance than a dive knife.
我们同时推荐大家用非常强有力的这种剪刀去将这个绳索进行剪断，然后移除。
And now that you've completed your dive and you've come out of the water, we're now actually ready to report the data by following the 5 steps listed in the screen in front of your computer.
那你已经完成了你的潜水过程，那等你回到岸上，你就需要根据我们以下的5个步骤去进行汇报和数据的整理，来告诉我们你在水下发生了什么样的事情。
The 5 steps that are required in order to report data are first to weigh it, then to sort through the marine debris, then to record it on your data card, dispose the rubbish, and then send us the data or report the data that you've actually recorded.
那这个5个步骤非常的简单，首先第1步是去称重，第2步就是将你捡到的海洋垃圾进行分类，第3步是在记录板上记录下你不同的海洋垃圾的数量，第4步去处理掉你已经收集回来的海洋垃圾，然后最后就向我们汇报你发现的数据。
Now we'll go through each of these steps in a little bit more detail.
那我们之后会具体详细的解释一下这5个步骤。
The first step is to weigh the marine debris. So you want to start off by weighing the debris while it's still in the mesh bag using fishing or kitchen scales.
首先是你要在你这个垃圾仍然在垃圾袋中的时候进行称重，并且称重的时候需要减去你这个空袋的这个的重量。你可以用钓鱼或者是厨房里面的这个垃圾袋，厨房里钓鱼秤或者厨房里面的秤来进行称重。
You can see an example in the photo on this slide, but basically what you want to do is you want to just get all the debris together and weigh it, and you need to get the true weight of the debris.
大家可以在图片中看到这个我们称重的一个方法，这个是我们上2周的时候，这个我们中山俱乐部的那个尼莫加潜水的时候去做的时候给我们做的一次示范，然后大家可以就是去确保说我们称到的这个重量是海洋垃圾的净重量。
Basically, we get the true weight of the debris by subtracting the weight of the bag if the weight of the bag is significant from the weight of the debris inside the bag.
大家记得，如果要是这个垃圾袋自己本身自重很大的话，一定是称重的时候要减去它本身的重量。
If you don't have a scale, then you simply have to estimate, but we do want to try and have as accurate data as possible.
如果你没有计重的工具的话，你也可以大概去估算它的重量，但是我们希望在可能的情况下，尽可能精确的获知这个数据的重量信息。
The next step is to sort through the data, and this can be the most difficult step of the 5 steps.
来讲最为这个复杂的一步。
So the way that you do this depends on the amount of participants you have doing the survey, but you'll want to speak with each other beforehand and figure out a method that works best between yourselves.
分类，那这可能是我们在这5个首先就是大家是要这个按照以下的9种类别将海洋垃圾进行分类的，然后需要用你们觉得最适合的方式去这个将它们分到不同的这个小的区域里边。
An important tip to get started is to first read through the data card and understand all the main categories and the subcategories that fall under those main categories.
比较重要的一点是，大家需要在分类之前先自己仔细的阅读我们的这个分类卡，知道我们都分为哪些大类，然后才能正确的将不同的东西分到不同的类别里边。
The main categories are listed on this slide and include items like plastic, glass and ceramic, metal, rubber, wood, and so forth.
那主要分为的类别一般是有塑料、玻璃、陶瓷、金属、橡胶、木材、布、纸和混合材料的。
So then I also highly recommend you bring a tarp. You lay out the tarp and then you dump the debris onto the tarp and you sort the debris according to the categories listed on the presentation on top of the tarp.
我们建议大家可以带一个就是垃圾分类布或者铺垃圾的地方，这样的话大家可以把所有的垃圾都平铺在上面，然后按照不同的这个类别去进行分类。
Once you're finished sorting the debris according to all the main categories listed in front of you, you're ready to move to the next step.
等大家完成了分类之后，我们就可以去进行下一步了。
So the next step is you want to record the number of items according to each subcategory on the data card.
下一步就是根据大家在这个不同的垃圾的分类类别里面记录到的每一类的这个子项目的数量，去把这个数量按照相应的这个区域去填到我们的数据卡上。
The important thing to remember is that we're recording quantity. So anytime you find an item listed under the category, such as a plastic fork, you just find the category of plastic fork on the data card and you make a tally or mark it as 1.
所以很重要的是，我们每发现到的一件垃圾都被记录为1。比如说你发现了一只塑料叉，那你就在塑料这个类别里面，在塑料叉这个类别里面标上1。那不管这个垃圾的这个大小是多少，只要是一件，你就会把它标注为1。
You continue doing this until you've counted all the items of debris that you've removed during your dive.
持续记录这个过程，直到你已经把你收上来的所有的垃圾都按照不同的类别填到了相应的数量。
Any miscellaneous items that you find that you can't find a category for, you can just list as a fragment.
如果要是有任何的这个你捡上的垃圾事项无法被分类到任何我们已经在列到里面的这个小项里面，那就只把它记为这个在英语里面 fragment 就是中文里面可能叫碎片，这个里面就是无法识别的这一项，那就把它记到其他里边。
You also have a comments section on the data card where you can make comments about some of the items of debris that you found.
同时我们这个卡片上还有一个评论的区域，那大家可以记录一些不寻常的你觉得有必要去向我们提出来的这个数据或者是信息放到里边。
We also wanted to highlight some of the areas that we find a lot of the volunteers make mistakes on the data card.
我们要给大家指出一些就是我们在过去的信息里面收集到的，经常潜水员会在这几个处理信息时候发生错误的点。
The reason for this is that we have to maintain the integrity of this data. So we quality review every single data submission in order to ensure that it's scientifically sound.
发生这样问题的原因是因为我们希望确保我们所有的数据都是详实的，并且是准确的，可以用于去做科学研究的。所以每一份数据在提交上来之后，我们都会仔细去核查它的质量，去看它是否在科学上是合理并且站得住脚的。
If we find that some of the information that you reported might be incorrect, then we have to go back and ask you to fix it, and that takes more time for you to be able to see the results of your data on the database.
如果要是我们发现任何有模糊不清或者我们觉得是有存疑的数据，我们会把这个数据返回给你去核实这个数据的真实情况。那这种情况发生的时候，一般会花费我们更长的时间，也使大家不能在短期之内就看到自己在数据库里面反馈的结果。
So some of the most problematic categories on the data card include number of participants, survey duration, and survey site location and GPS coordinates.
所以最经常发生问题的数据填写信息，一个是活动参与的人数，GPS 定位你调查的区域前点，然后以及你调查的时长。
For the number of participants, if there's a group of divers doing the same survey or doing the same dive together, then it is all considered one survey, and all of the debris and all of the divers should be recorded together on one data card.
如果你们是一组潜水员，在一个调查区域里面进行一次潜水，那么不管你们有多少人，分成了多少组，你们被记录的都是一次水下调查的数据，所以所有的人都需要把自己的数据汇总到同一张数据卡上去，共同一起提交。
So if you had 10 divers doing a dive in the same location, you wouldn't have each buddy pair submitting a different data card. You would have just one data card for all 10 divers, and the number of participants would be 10.
如果你是一组10个潜水员，分成了5个 buddy 组去进行调查的潜水，你们不需要每一组都提交一个单独的数据收集表，而是你们10个人作为一次调查潜水的潜水员，你们的参与人数是10，提交一张数据收集表。
Now we'll go through in a little bit more detail some of the other problem areas when reporting the data.
我们之后再详细的去给大家看一下经常出现问题的调查填写区域。
The survey duration is something that we often see many errors on the data card.
调查时间是我们经常会发现会存在很多问题的一个调查的填写事项。
So this picture is an example of 3 different buddy pairs all doing the same dive together and the dive time of each buddy pair.
这个是我们在一次调查潜水中会出现的不同的这个 buddy 组之间去有不同的水下调查的时间。
So now try to consider what would be the survey duration that you would put on your data card. Because remember, all of these divers are all going on the same data card.
所以需要大家去考虑一下，在这种情况下，那他们的调查时间到底是多长？大家可以去想，你的前提是所有的参与这个潜水的潜水组，你们的数据是要提交到同一张表格上的。
And the answer is the average time spent underwater by all buddy pairs is what you put down on your data card as the survey duration.
所以这个的答案就是你需要放到你的数据收集卡上的时间是所有的前半组之间用于水下移除海洋垃圾所用的平均时长。
The next problem that we often come across is the GPS coordinates recorded on the data card.
我们第二个会经常出现问题的是关于我们调查点的 GPS 的位置。
The important thing to remember is that you need to zoom in as much as possible when you're recording the latitude and longitude, because you want to make sure you're actually getting the site of the water and the dive site and not the site on the coast, on the land.
比较重要的一点是在大家确认你自己的 GPS 点的时候，你需要去把它放大到不能再大，然后确保说我们定位的点是你所在的那个准确的前点，而不是近海或沿岸的一个区域。
And we do realize that perhaps Google might not be available to everyone depending where you are, but it doesn't matter which source you're using, whether it's Baidu or some other open source. We just need the GPS coordinates, and you want to make sure that you zoom in as much as possible so you're providing the accurate dive site, not the GPS coordinates for the coast or for the land.
我知道在国内可能很多人就是没有办法去使用这个谷歌的地图，但是不管你用什么样的地图，最重要的事情都是你把它放大到尽可能最大的位置来准确的定位这一个前点，而不是去定位一片沿海区域。
The fourth step is you want to make sure now that you actually responsibly dispose of the marine debris items that you removed from the water.
第4点需要关注的就是你一定要足够仔细且负责任的处理掉你从海洋里面收回来的海洋垃圾，确保它不会以 任何其他的方式又重新流回到海洋里边。
You want to be able to check the waste collection on site before you actually do the dive. And if there is no waste collection, make sure you arrange collection in advance so that the rubbish you remove doesn't end up back in the ocean.
所以在你开始潜水之前，你就要确认当地是否有垃圾桶等各种回收的装置。然后如果要是没有的话，那你要先提前想好你要如何处理掉你从海洋里面打捞回来的垃圾。
Okay, and now you're ready to actually report the data and send it to us. And this is one of the most important steps because unless you send it to us, nobody will ever know.
如果你前几步都已经做完了，那就到了最后一步，你需要去向我们去汇报你所有的需要填写的这些数据了。如果你不把这个数据报告给我们的话，没有任何人是知道你这个数据，以及它就没有任何的应用价值了。
There are several different ways where you can send us the data. For example, you can send it to us through the website or through the mobile app, which I'll talk about more in just a second.
大家有几种方式可以去将这个数据上报给我们。大家可以通过邮件的方式，同时也可以通过 APP 的方式去把这个数据报告给我们。之后我会具体介绍。
The most important thing to remember if you're submitting the data through the website or the mobile app is that first, you have to make sure you create a project-aware profile in advance. And second, you can only use one profile for both your website and the mobile app. So you're sharing the same profile for both.
大家可以在我们的网站上或者是我们的 APP 上上传你的数据，但是不管是通过哪一个端口，都需要去注册一份自己的 project-aware 的档案。那你在两个端口上去应该是共用同一份档案的，就是建立在你个人名下的同一份。
When you are doing this, you will only be able to submit the data in English. However, the data card is exactly the same, and so you can simply follow the same sequence that you have on your data card, no matter what language you've used.
目前我们在网站和 APP 上上传数据只能上传英文的，但是因为所有的这个表象需要填的全都是数字，所以其实不会妨碍大家去理解我应该把哪个地方填到什么东西上，因为中文的表格和我们系统上所持的英文表格是完全对应一致的。
If you're still having trouble submitting, you can email us the PDF of your data card in the language that you've used to china@projectaware.org, and we'll help you further.
如果要是你们还在这个填写数据上有困难的话，大家可以把 PDF 格式的数据报告发送到我们中国区的邮箱 china@projectaware.org 去这个提交你的数据，我们会进一步的去处理。
So I mentioned the Dive Against Debris app earlier, and this is a new mobile application that we launched in 2017.
这个就是我们在2017年发布的打击海洋垃圾的这一个新的 APP。
This makes it much easier to sort and record and report your data. Even if you don't have any internet connection, you can simply enter in the information, and the moment you enter back into internet access, you can just upload your data.
这个东西使得我们可以更简单的去上传我们关于海洋垃圾的数据，同时即使在没有 WiFi 的情况下也是没有关系的，大家可以去把数据填写上去之后，存储到草稿箱里边，然后在有网的时候就可以将这个已经存储好的数据进行上传。
You can also save many of the settings. So if you end up doing repeat surveys from the same location, it saves all of that information and you just change the items of debris that you've removed every time.
同时它也可以保留你每一次默认填写的数据，所以针对如果你是在一个调查潜点反复的去做潜水去调查海洋垃圾的情况的话，它就会非常方便，因为大家可以很多默认的信息不用再去更改，只要更改你每一次潜水所捡上来的海洋垃圾的数量进行更新就可以了。
You can also easily see your previous surveys and results through the mobile app.
你也可以通过这个手机的 APP 很轻松的看到你以前所提交的数据。
We realize that this might not be available for everybody, but depending on where you are in the world, try to access the mobile app. And if you're having problems, just get in touch with Project Aware, and we'll do what we can to assist you in sending us your data.
我们知道可能不是所有人都非常方便使用这个 APP， 但是我们建议大家都可以去应用商城里面去搜索一下。如果你在使用上遇到什么样的问题，你可以联系我们，然后我们会试图去看是否我们可以修正这些问题。
Now, taking pictures is kind of the sixth and unofficial step of doing a dive against debris survey.
拍摄照片通常来讲并不是我们一定要求的5步中的一步，但是它是一个我们很推荐的可以用来讲述大家故事的第6步。
Photos are really important because you want to illustrate the problem and tell your story to the rest of the world, and Project Aware can help you do that by sharing your photos through our amazing network of dive leaders.
照片是一个非常好的可以用来讲故事的方法。那同时大家也可以通过用照片的形式，在我们的我的海洋的这个全球的潜水社群里面去传播自己的故事，告诉全球的这些潜水领袖们，在你所在的地方你在领导什么样的改变和行动。
Now, there are 2 different types of photos that you should be taking. The first type of photo are photos to explain your data, both of the marine debris items found underwater and when you're sorting it on the ground.
照片也是可以有2种不同的类型的，一个是有助于解释你的捡拾上来的这些海洋垃圾的数据的，另一个就是可以去讲述你自己在这个中间发生的故事的。
You also want to make sure you share your story by taking group shots, divers in action, showing all the fun, and trying to inspire others to get involved.
你同时也可以去尽量拍摄那些有集体活动的，有你们在行动中的潜水员的，然后你们去计数和统计海洋垃圾的镜头的，以及有这个你们所移除到的海洋垃圾的整体这样的图片。
So we've emphasized a lot why the data is so important and why you need to be recording the data and sending it to us, but we want to talk a little bit more about why that is.
我们说了很多你的海洋垃圾的数据是非常重要的，以及为什么你们一定要把这些数据再上传和回报给我们。那我想给大家进一步去解释一下为什么是这样。
As I mentioned before Dive Against Debris, there was a complete lack of data from the underwater perspective in terms of marine debris.
像我之前所说的，在打击海洋垃圾开始做之前，这个全球范围内是没有任何一项从水下去探索海洋垃圾数据的一个科学项目的。
This is particularly important because it's estimated that up to 70% of marine debris sinks to the sea floor, and up to 95% of plastics sink to the sea floor. So that means that all this data is going unreported, unrecorded, out of sight, out of mind.
所以大家可以根据数据推断，70%以上的海洋垃圾最终都会沉在海底，且这些垃圾中95%以上都是塑料垃圾。如果要是没有一个从水下去汇报海洋垃圾的数据的方法的话，那么其实我们可以理解到的是，这么大量的垃圾最后都是没有在大家关注的范围之内，同时也没有被记录和没有被汇报的。
And on the screen in front of you are some examples of some global alliances which are trying to address the solution for marine debris on a long-term policy level. And we are using our Dive Against Debris data to work with these alliances in order to address solutions to the problem.
大家可以看到，我们能列出来的都是一些关于想要去打击和关注海洋垃圾议题的一些联盟。那这些联盟想要推动一个长远性的政策上的改变，就是需要我们从水下收集上来的这些数据的支持。所以我们其实是在用我们去调查出来的关于海洋垃圾的数据，去推动一些联盟去进行长远性的政策变革。
So something we mentioned earlier in the presentation is something that we're very proud of with Project Aware and the Dive Against Debris program. And that's that we've recently removed more than 1 million items of marine debris from the ocean.
之前我给大家提到的就是我们非常自豪的一个事情，是我们在过去的7年里面，一共实现了在海洋里面移除100万件海洋垃圾的这个事情。 那以下就是我们列出来在我们收集到的海洋垃圾的数据里面最常见的海洋垃圾的种类。
And this graphic here explains the top 10 items that we found globally from the sea floor out of those 1 million pieces of items that have been recorded.
这个里面就列出了我们在100万件海洋垃圾里面排名最靠前10的10个海洋垃圾的种类。
So the first 3 include number 1 is plastic fishing line, number 2 is plastic fragments, and number 3 is glass bottles.
所以我们记录出来的最多的3样塑料垃圾是塑料的渔网鱼线、塑料的这个包装袋以及塑料碎片以及塑料瓶。
Number 4 is plastic bottles, number 5 is plastic food wrappers, and number 6 is aluminum cans.
不好意思，我刚才说错了，第3位的是塑料瓶，然后第3位的是玻璃瓶，第4位的才是塑料瓶，然后之后是塑料的食品包装以及这个罐子。
Number 7 are plastic grocery bags. Number 8 are metal fishing items. Number 9 is plastic cutlery. And number 10 are glass and ceramic fragments.
所以第7位的是这种那个厨房用的塑料袋，第8位的是鱼钩、鱼线这种相关的钓鱼装置，然后第9位的是塑料的餐具，最后一位是玻璃和其他的相关的碎片，陶瓷碎片。
So if you're planning on doing dive against debris surveys, or you're already doing dive against debris surveys very often, we recommend you look into getting involved in our Adopt a Dive Site campaign, where you commit to doing a dive against debris survey at least once a month.
如果你已经开始去做打击海洋垃圾的事情，或者说你愿意长期去做打击海洋垃圾的事情，我们去推荐大家能够加入到我们的认领一个前点的计划里面。那承诺可以针对你认领的这个前点进行每个月至少1次的打击海洋垃圾的潜水，来长期为我们提供相关的数据。
Project Aware will provide you with additional support in order to help you to do so, including more materials to do the dive against debris survey.
Project Aware 会给你提供更多的支持，帮助你去这个在认领的前点去做打击海洋垃圾的潜水。
And here's a snapshot of some data that we've collected just in the year of 2017.
这个就是我们在2017年1年中被提交上来的数据的情况。
66% of the marine debris items collected have been plastic, and 204 debris-free surveys have been reported, as well as over 1,673 entangled animals reported just in the year of 2017.
所以在我们2017年的数据里面，我们调查出来的所有被上报的海洋垃圾中，66%是塑料。同时，我们有204起是无垃圾型调查，就是没有发现任何的海洋垃圾。然后在所有的这个被报告的事件中，有1673起都被发现了有被塑料缠住的海洋生物。同时，我们也有300多个前点被认领了。
So with that in mind, what are you waiting for? It's time to dive in and be a debris activist.
所以我们希望大家都能够行动起来，成为一个打击海洋垃圾的行动专家。
And just to review what we've talked about during our seminar today, we gave some background about marine debris and the Dive Against Debris program. We talked about the 5 steps of how to do a Dive Against Debris survey. We've talked about the importance of the data from the survey and how you can use Dive Against Debris to get involved in other campaigns, such as the Clean Seas campaign and the Adopt a Dive Site campaign.
我们回顾一下我们今天已经在讨论过的议题，我们当时讨论了什么是海洋垃圾，如何去打击海洋垃圾，以及打击海洋垃圾应该进行的调查的5个步骤，并且我们也给大家介绍了关于海洋垃圾数据的重要性。
So now is the part of the presentation where we're actually going to take a few questions. We have made it available for people to ask us questions throughout the presentation, and we'll just answer 1 or 2 depending on how much time that we have left.
所以我们已经介绍完了今天所有的主体内容，那接下来到我们问答的这个环节，不知道大家听了今天的介绍之后有没有什么问题？我们大概根据时间会回答1到2个大家比较关注的问题。
If you do have additional questions that we're not able to answer, please do write them in the question box on the screen in front of you, and we'll be sure to follow up with you either by email or phone and answer your question.
如果我们没有那么多的时间去解答大家的问题，大家可以将你的问题留在这个你面前的问题对话框里边去发送给我们，然后我们之后会通过邮件或者其他的形式去解答你的问题。
Okay, so the first question that we'll take for today is, how do I apply to become a dive against debris instructor?
那我们今天第一个回答的问题是，我如何申请成为一个打击海洋垃圾的教练？
And the answer is, to become a dive against debris instructor, you simply have to fill out the instructor specialty application form, which is the same as any other specialty application form, but you need to make sure you write dive against debris on the line at the top.
其实这个答案是，如果你想申请成为一个打击海洋垃圾的专场教练，它就跟你去申请其他的专场教练是没有任何区别的。你只要需要填写一个专场教练的申请表，然后确保你在最上方写上了打击海洋垃圾，然后能够让这个申请表去被分到正常的专场的类别里。
The fee that is paid to become a dive against debris instructor does actually get donated back to Project Aware in order to put money back into the program and to help continue addressing the problem.
所有申请成为打击海洋垃圾的专场的教练费用都会被捐赠给 Project Aware， 以方便我们去进一步用这个费用去这个回馈跟研发更多的相关的数据支持的工具，然后帮助我们更好的开展这个项目。
If you do have any questions about, like in terms of PADI training and whether you're qualified to become a dive against debris instructor, please make sure you get in touch with your PADI regional training consultant and they can assist you.
如果你对于自己是否有资质申请这个专长的教练，或者是关于这个申请的条件的问题需要咨询的话，你可以去咨询你的地区训练顾问，然后由他来协助你去了解是否可以去申请这个相关的专长。
So that's all the questions that we'll take for today. And we'll just finish up the presentation by saying thank you all for joining us, and thank you for taking the time to become leaders for protecting the ocean.
那我们今天就回答这2个问题。那到现在为止，我们所有的研讨会就已经到尾声了。还是希望跟大家说一句，非常感谢大家的参与，也非常希望大家能够成为我们海洋保育的一个领航者。
And we encourage you to remember that every time you dive, turn this dive into a dive against debris and send us your data, because if you think it doesn't make a difference, you're wrong. It makes a huge difference.
如果要是我们鼓励大家在每一次你潜水的时候都能够将这个潜水变成一个打击海洋垃圾的潜水，不要认为说你们如果捡不到很多的垃圾或没有捡到垃圾就是没有意义的，任何一个你哪怕只捡到1件垃圾，这个事情也是有意义的。
And the reason for this is because small acts, when multiplied by millions of people across the world, can transform the world.
之所以你做的每一次事件都有意义，是因为即使是很小的改变，当这个很小的改变去乘以数以百万计的人的参与的时候，那么都能够成为一个推动世界进行改变的力量。
Our ocean needs your help, so let's tackle the problem together.
我们的海洋非常需要大家的帮助，所以让我们能够携手并肩，一起去解决我们面临的问题。
And now, if you would like more information, please remember to email us at china@projectaware.org, and you can follow the link or scan the QR code in order to get access to the digital toolkit that's available on our website.
如果大家需要了解更多的信息，大家可以通过 china@projectaware.org 去联系我们，同时大家可以扫描我们屏幕上的二维码去获取我们所有关于打击海洋垃圾的工具包和清单。
And thank you all for joining. That concludes our webinar for today.
感谢大家参与我们今天的研讨会。